All right, let's talk about it. It's coming our way, that big March storm we've been talking about. But if you take a look outside now, live at 4 o'clock in Denver, it is dry and it is rather warm in the metro area still.
And everybody's out and about thinking, well, I'll do it right now. We expect things to change dramatically in the overnight hours. That's already prompting a lot of closures. We know DPS, Cherry Creek schools closed tomorrow and many more as well. Higher elevations will be the first ones to see the snow tonight. We're taking a look at the Continental Divide in northern Colorado near Rocky Mountain National Park. You can tell, yeah, it's a little icky out there.
Also just got word that I-70 eastbound at Vail Pass is closed. So let's take a look at conditions up there. And yeah, that's a wintry look. There is some traffic going by, presuming that to be westbound. So the eastbound side is closed right now. Of course, we're going to be keeping you posted on the roads around the state for the next hour and a half and throughout the evening on into tomorrow, where more and more snow is coming our way. And it's not just snow. We start with rain and maybe thunder before the snow arrives. Our viewer Lindsay sent us this view of some of the grapple on Highway 7 and Vista Parkway in Erie. And another viewer in Cheyenne spotted similar conditions there. Could be more rumbles of thunder coming our way tonight. So there is a lot to do for our meteorologists. We start with our chief meteorologist, Kathy Sabin, with where we are and where we're headed.
You know what? It has a convective feel to it, doesn't it? Meaning springtime.
It does.
Right?
That's what
and it was like doing this little snow, sleety kind of, and then stopped.
Yep.
But it's really convective.
If there's thunder, Tom, there's lightning and grapple. Very
like a convective oven.
I gotta Google that.
It's a little bit unstable.
That we get.
I know.
We're unstable.
Right. I wasn't going to say that, but thank you, Kim, for saying that. I kind of was like waiting for you to say that. We are looking at the sky, which again, is a bit convective, meaning we're seeing some of these clouds develop a bit vertically, and there's some thunder, some lightning, some grapple, and some rain. We haven't seen the snow yet, but that will be changing, and the snow in the high country will be picking up as well. There are winter weather and travel advisories out for I-70, and Tom was remarking about how mild it is. Yes, 48 in Denver, 65 in Lamar, 59 in Pueblo. That's because the storm isn't here yet. The initial wave has come through, prompting the winds to come in out of the east and northeast, which is the beginning of some upslope, but that first wave was on the weak side, which gives us confidence that now this main core system may actually be even stronger than we originally thought. We're tracking some scattered rain showers. See the lightning? Look at the thunder snow on I-70. Yes, that convective spring-like feel to this storm system. Eventually, the rain is going to fill into Denver and turn heavy, mixing over and flipping to snow. Right now, we're trying to figure out, is that going to be 7:30, 8:30 tonight, or a little bit later? That is going to be a big part and play a big role in some of these forecast totals you're looking at as Denver goes under a winter storm warning tonight for the potential of 10 to 20 inches. Areas like Castle Rock up to 24, areas of the foothills 2 to 4 feet. Folks will be snowbound and unable to travel and get in and out of those foothills with the snow that we're predicting. Notice the rain flips to snow by 10:30 tonight and turns heavy. Folks, we could be looking at snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches an hour in the foothills and 1 to 2 inches an hour for a time right here in the metro area. So a lot to track, a lot to time, and we're going to talk much more in detail about these accumulation amounts. You can pick your town, and we're going to go in depth with some of this coming up in weather in just a bit.
Okay, thanks, Kathy. DIA is ready for the storm. Crews are ready to clear runways and de-ice planes. As of right now, not much is going on because the snow hasn't really arrived just yet. When things change overnight, the delays and the cancellations are expected to follow. Plus, you know, you do have to get to the airport, so make sure you plan accordingly. Schools and businesses are also making calls about closures. We mentioned Denver and Cherry Creek. Dougco and Adams 27 are joining them as well. We have the closures running on the bottom of the screen, a full list on 9news.com. And we'll get those closures going. If you've been around long enough, you probably have, well, just pick your March memory of a snowstorm. There are so many. And this one is one that we're just going to add to the pile.
Yeah, it's the reputation for these big March snowfalls that have people on alert for this one as well. Meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen is in Jefferson County in the foothills, and that's an area, Corey, that might see the most snow. So what is it with March and these storms?
Yeah, that's right, Tom, and it just flipped over to all snow here in Evergreen just a moment ago. It's not sticking to the ground yet, but it gets the excitement certainly start to build. But, you know, if you think about this time of year, what happens in the Gulf of Mexico starts to warm up and it really gets juicy. So the temperatures down there to our south are hitting 80 to 90 degrees. So that adds a lot of evaporation to the air. And that is the moisture that these March storms tap into to bring them to the Front Range if they form in the right spot.
6 of the top 20 biggest snowstorms to ever hit Denver happened in the month of March. More big storms than any other month, including this recent monster in 2021 referred to some as the Pi Day storm because it hit on March 14th, a day reserved for math geeks to celebrate the number pi. But the number 27.1 stole the spotlight. That's how much snow piled up to officially become Denver's 4th biggest snowstorm of all time. Denver's 2nd biggest snowstorm ever happened in March of 2003. Most of the 30.8 inches fell on March 19th. And it's not just snowfall that can make March storms ferocious. High winds can often make the drifts the worst part. The March 2019 bomb cyclone buried cars in 7-foot snowdrifts in the southeast metro, while Denver's official snow total of 7.1 inches was somewhat underwhelming for March standards. So what is it about March? Well, the cyclones tend to be stronger, there's more moisture available, and storms frequently move into an area that takes better advantage of that moisture. Let's look at this week's storm as an example. The circulation around the cyclone is forecast to be the strongest of the season and move into this location to the southeast of Colorado. That's where it can pull moisture up from the Gulf of Mexico region. The air is extra juicy with evaporation in March because of the longer days and higher temperatures now reaching the 80s and 90s. The storm will send that moisture into the Front Range where it'll meet up with colder air streaming down from the north, and you end up with a typical March snowstorm.
And up here in the foothills, usually they get at least 2 times more snow than they do down in Denver during these March storms. And the reason for that is because the way the air with that moisture in it hits the slopes, it kind of focuses the moisture in that spot. And then as it pushes up the hill of the slope of the mountains, it gives it extra lift. An extra lift in any storm is going to give you more precipitation, and the snow is now starting to fill in, not accumulating yet, but it's starting to fill in completely with snow, and we could be looking at 24 inches or more up in these parts of the foothills.
Yeah, it sounds like if people are out in it tomorrow, they're doing what's right over your shoulder there, Corey. They're going the wrong way. Don't get out in it. The other shoulder. There you go. All right. Corey, thanks for toughing it out there and giving us the explainer. We'll check back with you in just a bit.
Yeah, and good reminders of some of the snows in the past. The blast of snow is going to have a significant impact on roads and highways from the Front Range into the high country.
So today, CDOT was laying out the coordinated plans. They're coordinating with the Colorado State Patrol as well as the Colorado Avalanche Information Center. So CDOT expects safety closures across multiple highways. We already told you about eastbound I-70 closed at Vail Pass just now, but other possible areas, I-25 near Castle Rock and the Monument Hill area, I-70 between Golden and the Eisenhower Tunnel, as well as Highway 285 between C-470 and Fairplay. And the main focus, of course, will be on those major highways. But all of this sudden snow can create dangerous possibilities as far as avalanches as well. So CAIC says closures for avalanche mitigation operations are a very real possibility for tomorrow and Friday mornings in Loveland Pass, Berthoud Pass, and around the Eisenhower Tunnel.
We want to control these avalanches. We want to bring them down under our terms instead of having them run naturally. Everybody should be prepared for these closures. And as everybody has said so far, staying out of these areas is very important over the next couple of days.
So the CAIC is going to try to do their mitigating during hours that won't impact traffic too much. Cooperstein says if you run into avalanche debris on the road, do not try to drive through it. Of course, we know many of you have many questions about the storm. Our team also working to get the answers that you need, but here's an exciting opportunity. Meteorologist Chris Bianchi is going to join us here at about 4:30, and you can text him any questions. Just hit 303-871-1491. You can text those to him. We'll try to get Chris to answer as many as possible coming up at about 4:30.
While many first responders are prepping for the snow, firefighters in Boulder County are taking advantage of the conditions. Boulder Fire Rescue is doing a prescribed burn this week to cut down risk for wildfire. Crews shared these pictures yesterday during a burn in Northeast Boulder.
No one was hurt after a man shot at Denver police officers earlier today. Now, it all happened just after 10 a.m. near Jewel and Federal in southwest Denver. Officers said they were checking on a man slumped over in a car, but that's when they say he shot at them. Officers didn't return fire and were able to take the man into custody shortly after. And this afternoon, we also learned more about a shooting in Denver earlier this month.
Today, Denver police shared body camera video showing what happened. This video is a little difficult to watch. The shooting happened on March 1st at a 7-Eleven near West 5th and Federal. Officers responding to a call of a stabbing and a robbery. When they arrived, they found a struggle between a closed door and a back room. The suspect was holding 2 employees hostage with a knife. Police say the suspect didn't comply with their demands. They rammed the door open and 4 officers shot him. He later died at the hospital. No officers were hurt. The 2 employees held hostage were also not physically hurt. Per protocol, the 4 officers are on modified duty.